administer things, and we have duties. They didn't want us. The duties weren't something like you would expect, because we're also full-time students participating in athletics, and and the way that West Point works is you cannot miss class, you cannot be late for class. Everything is very, very regimented. You know, we wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning. The first formation is at 6:30 for breakfast. The first class starts at 7:20, and you have 7 class periods during the day. But maybe about 4 of those class periods are actually you're in class, but the other class periods you're doing other things. You know, your room always has to be clean. You have other duties within your cadet company. That you have to take care of, and so, so you're always busy, and your end of the day is at midnight. So generally everybody, and then your lights have to be out, because you get in trouble if your lights weren't ever on. So, so we had a very, very, there was a very, very hectic, packed schedule. You were always, moving. It's rather funny because, obviously, Taiwanese, like a lot of Asians, we don't like being on time. I got into a lot of trouble my first year because I would not come in on time. I would walk into my class maybe 1 minute late, 2 minutes late. You get demerits for that.
Explain the first year experience. First year there, your experience.
很多人他们念不完，他学校功课很忙。我听说很多人去厕所，厕所念书，听说是这样子。
The first year experience when you get into Canada. I mean,
well,
pretty nice.
When my dad took me to West Point to report on the first day, it's just, for me, I remember it July 2nd, 1987. They take you into like a stadium area, and then a cadet gets up, one of the senior cadets gets up and says, okay, welcome to, reception day, for the class of 1991. And I thought he was going to talk for a few minutes.
So your class in 1981?
1991.
1991. And how big the size of?
They start out with about
200 or 300.
They start out about 1,300.
1,300.
They start out 1,300 and they graduate generally just under 1,000.
1,000.
Under 1,000, 900 something.
100,000.
Yeah, under 1,000.
Okay.
So we lose.
About 300 drop out.
Yes. Yes, we always lose. They generally say on that first day when you're going through a whirlwind of things, by the end of the day they all have us in a big lecture hall, and they say, okay, look to your right and to your left. In 4 years, one of you will not be here. So because of the dropout rate. But anyway, so in this, when we first walked in, my father and I had our stuff, and I thought the cadet was going to speak for a while. Maybe they'd give us some orientation. Next thing I know, he says, at this point, cadets will move up the steps to the doors at the back of the stadium. Parents will move over here, and depart the stadium over here. Please take a minute and say goodbye to your parents, like that. It was like, oh, okay. I mean, very, very fast. Very, very fast.
I missed a very interesting part. You said, look right or something.
Yes, because we were all sitting together.
Yes, and then can you repeat that?
And they said, then by the time you graduate, one of you will not be here. And that was true. We started, in my cadet company, there were 5 girls, so we all roomed with each other. We were all roommates. Because, and when we graduated, it was just me and one other girl. So we actually lost more women in my company than normal.
The first lineup on the upperclassmen.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, so then you go up you go up the stairs and you go through the double doors and they all get to tell you to line up. You know, you're carrying your one bag because you're only allowed one duffel bag with you because they're going to give you all the uniforms and you're not allowed to wear any civilian clothes. You're not allowed to bring any, you couldn't bring in music, none of the, of course back then we didn't have cell phones or anything, but you couldn't bring any music or you were very, very limited in the personal items you could bring. And they lined us all up and we're all just standing there all looking ahead and I kind of started looking around and upperclassman came over and he said, keep your eyes straight ahead, do not look around. This is the nicest way I can say this because from now on if somebody else says something to you, they're going to be a lot meaner. And I was like, oh. And that whole day was...
And you all turn against the wall.
Against the wall.
Yeah.
Remember, and they speak behind you saying, from this point on.
Oh, that's right, now I remember. Okay, now I remember. Okay, now I remember. It's all coming back to me. Okay, we all got in, they all lined us up, we all looked ahead, and the cadet said, very, very strongly, kind of yelling, from this point on, you will not speak unless being spoken to, you will only use the responses, yes sir, no sir, no excuse sir, sir, I do not understand, you'll keep your head
yes, yes, no, or, sir, I don't understand.
Yes,
I don't
Sir,
understand.
how about sir?
Yeah.
Yes, sir, no, sir.
Yes. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
no,
sir. No, sir.
No excuse, sir.
Or
Sir,
excuse.
no excuse, sir.
No excuse, sir.
Sir, I do not understand.
No excuse, sir. Sir, I don't understand. Okay,
Yes.
just for.
So you will keep your head and eyes straight forward. You will not speak to anyone. You will not speak unless being spoken to. Is that clear? And we're all like, oh. I mean, from that point on, everybody's like quiet. Because we all know from.
But then also make comment. You are all the leaders or from high school or the top guys. Now from today on, you are the.
You're all. You're a new cadet. You're not even a cadet yet. You're a new cadet.
Oh. Yes.
You're not, because you haven't even made it to the academic year yet. So you're a new cadet.
You are a new cadet.
Yes. And so for that rest of the summer, we were always called new cadets. And a lot of people drop out during that first summer.
They call you pre, right?
During the first months?
What's year?
First summer.
First year or first summer?
The first summer, you're a new cadet.
July the 1st.
Oh, okay.
So it's about 6 weeks long.
First summer.
Before the academic
start
year starts.
earlier,
The academic year starts at the end of, toward the middle end of August.
No, sir.
And then, only when the academic year starts, they actually have a formal parade to welcome the new cadets into the Corps of Cadets. They actually have there's actually a ceremonial parade where the Corps of Cadets, the parade is like all the plebes are all lined up in our cadet companies. And then the rest of the Corps of Cadets comes out and marches out, and then we march in to our cadet companies. Because when you graduate, the exact opposite happens. The graduates, they actually, they have a big parade for graduation, and all the Corps of Cadets is all on the parade field. And the graduating cadets march out. And then we turn around and we line up, and then everybody else passes. They call passive review. They pass in front of us. So it's symbolic that you're accepted into the West Point, into West Point, and then you graduate from West Point.
All the time you have some kind of parade.
Yeah, well, that's how come when you look at that uniform, it's all the buttons, it's the toy soldier look. The uniforms haven't changed in have changed very, very little in 150 years. So it's interesting when you look at the yearbooks maybe before, and you see the graduation pictures, yearbook photos of MacArthur or Eisenhower, and they're wearing the same uniform.
You still want it?
Yeah, and look at them.
Let's
look at real good.
Can we take a look?
Because
Do you still have it?
Oh, yeah, in the closet.
Let me get back to one, to the point.
你什么行政 kernel 是什么？简介。
Who recommend you to West Point?
Well, there's I didn't know anybody in the U.S. military. So no one personally recommended me. But once you fill out, like I said, I received these pamphlets. Once you fill out a card and send it in saying that you're interested, they'll have somebody in the local area, either a graduate or usually a graduate, contact you. And so we had somebody always. There was a man, Mr. McConnell, who's so nice. He actually was not a graduate. He was a former cadet, but during World War II, but he had to leave for some reason. But he still continued to act as a local advocate for West Point. And so he would come and he would help explain the whole process of application. And you do need to have a nomination from the congressman in order to apply. So they tell you to apply for your local congressman, because each local congressman usually has paperwork that you need to fill out and go to an interview. Also you can also apply for your senators. You can take the plastic off if you want to feel it. It actually shrank because on my when I graduated, see, these are wool, and like I said, like Dad said, the day that I graduated, our graduation parade rained. It rained really, really hard. And so the parade started, it wasn't raining, even though,
Cotton? Oh.
no, it's wool.
Wool.
It's wool.
Very heavy wool. Very nice.
When it's summertime and you're wearing this, it's hot. It's
Sometimes
very,
you
very
have
uncomfortable. It's very, very uncomfortable.
They have some kind of thing too. That eventually you have to wear that summertime.
Yeah, well, this was interesting because when I graduated, see, my dad remembers this. When we graduated, we marched out.